From Ariana Grande being labeled a homewrecker, to Doja Cat hating her fans and labeled a devil worshipper, recently it's like the biggest names in pop music are being cancelled or interrogated on the internet. And now the latest pop star to be called out is Lizzo. Lizzo got her big breakthrough in 2019 after her single Truth Hurts started gaining a lot of attention on TikTok, and the track eventually topped the Billboard Hot 100 the same year, 2 years after its initial release in 2017. Throughout Lizzo's career, she has associated herself with the body positivity movement and good vibes. Like most artists that gain mainstream notoriety and success, Lizzo has been under a colossal amount of scrutiny as well, particularly body shaming, because of her being overweight or obese. Additionally, she's also been called out multiple times for being incredibly attention-seeking, like the time Lizzo twerked at an LA Lakers game in 2019, which sounds pretty harmless, but people were upset because there was a huge hole in whatever Lizzo had on, exposing her bare booty cheeks. Or whenever she would post videos of herself online twerking in a bikini thong, exposing her bare cakes, and Lizzo would then go online crying because she was getting hate for it, which made people call her out for more attention seeking and looking for sympathy, because people were like, you must have known people would not be happy about it and would call you all types of names. So basically, people would accuse her of creating her own drama so we could feel sorry for her. Despite all the hate Lizzo gets, at the same time, she's one of the most beloved celebrities in pop culture. Even Beyoncé name-dropping Lizzo in her Break My Soul remix on her Renaissance tour. But the tables have turned, as currently Lizzo is being cancelled after 3 of her former backup dancers filed a lawsuit against her, accusing Lizzo of sexual, religious, and racial harassment, disability discrimination, assault, false imprisonment, creating a hostile work environment, and weight shaming. These claims made by her ex-backup dancers are extremely concerning. However, I find their claims frivolous. And before I get into the video, I want to let everyone know that I am not a Lizzo stan. I'm just here for the music, really. I'm not championing for Lizzo, and I'm not a hater either. I just find this Lizzo takedown fishy. So yeah, let's get into the video.
Loose lips, now them hoes tryna sue me. Bitch, I don't give two shits.
The plaintiffs are Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez. They are suing Lizzo, her production company, Big Girl, Big Touring Inc., and Charlene Quigley, the captain of her dance team. So far, we have seen mainly Ariana Davis and Crystal Williams speak out publicly against Lizzo in multiple interviews. In the press, they claimed they felt like they had to be down for whatever Lizzo proposed, and persons in Lizzo's camp who were down for whatever would be more favored by Lizzo and would get callbacks for more shows.
Yeah, I think for both of us, there was like this always looming feeling of thinking that if you didn't do something or you didn't adhere to certain suggestions or demands, that your job could be in jeopardy. I mean, there have been specific instances, for example, whenever we were in contact with our agents and we were trying to negotiate receiving a retainer while we were working with the team, things kind of started being more tense in the work environment, more hostile. So right off the bat, we kind of already felt like the energy was shifting. And after negotiations for retainers began, we got an email before one of the shows, basically from her, somebody from her management team, saying that the way that we had been acting was unprofessional and the attitudes that we were exhibiting on the job was unacceptable, and that it could be grounds for termination. And that's just one specific instance that we went through in regards.
In their interview with TMZ, Ariana Davis says, could we have said no to certain things? I think that's a question that technically you could say yes, we could say no, but also there was such a power dynamic involved. I don't think consent is a thing when there is an imbalance of power. In the same interview, Davis also added that her abilities as a dancer was questioned due to her weight gain. and that Lizzo wouldn't say it out loud that she was getting heavier, but would tiptoe around it by saying things like, "Are you okay?" and "Why do you seem different?" Davis also said she doesn't know for sure if Lizzo meant to single her out while looking directly at her while in a meeting, and said dancers get fired for gaining weight.
What goes into my termination is that I had felt for a really long time that they were questioning my abilities due to weight gain. It was never explicitly said, hey, you know, you're gaining weight, your job is in jeopardy. It was never that. It was very nuanced. It was very under the rug. And I think that language was used to keep from being canceled. Previously, she had said, you know, she was worried about me at South by Southwest. And when I was at South by Southwest, that was the first time I had showed up to a Lizzo event or gig, noticeably having gained weight. There was nothing different about me. My performance skills were the same. My demeanor was the same. My energy was the same. The only thing that was different about me was my weight. And in this meeting, she stated as well that, you know, dancers get fired for gaining weight. Kind of paused and looked at me, and I still don't know if she really meant to single me out in that moment. But when she looked at me and she said that, I was kind of like, so she's really concerned about my weight. And then, you know, when we had that private meeting, when I was kind of cornered, they kind of wouldn't let me, you know, get away with not telling them something personal.
In an interview with Access Hollywood with Ariana and Crystal, Ariana claims Lizzo forced her to touch nude performers at a strip club in Amsterdam red light district.
I briefly touched the performer, and
So did you feel pressured to
I
touch
absolutely felt
against your will?
I absolutely felt pressured. Absolutely. I didn't want to be there. I was there to, you know, be good enough for Lizzo.
How did you feel mentally when you actually did that?
I think I went numb, to be honest. I've never done anything like that in my life. Sorry. It's crazy. I've never done that.
Explain to me the moment when you were fired, Ariana.
Oh God, when I was fired, it was an ambush meeting, by the way, on our off day. We were told to come in to get measurements for wardrobe.
While on CNN, Davis explained on the day they were fired and Noel resigning that she peed on herself in a rehearsal/re-audition that they had to partake in order to secure their jobs, and she didn't want to leave to use the bathroom because of the toxic work environment. Also, that she shared personal matters with them about her weight, and Noel accused Lizzo of gesturing like Lizzo wanted to punch her, and that Lizzo would have punched her if someone didn't hold Lizzo back after Lizzo found out she was resigning. Now, as we all know by now, Lizzo did respond, basically saying it's all lies, and her legal team also responded with a video/audition tape of Ariana basically praising Lizzo after all the allegations had occurred. Ariana did respond, saying, well, of course she would say good things and, you know, wouldn't say bad things about her boss, which I do agree with. However, the video also invalidates all her claims against Lizzo at the same time.
Surprise! Hi, what's up? It's Ariana Davis from season 1 of Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls. I know, you're probably thinking, why is she here? What is she doing auditioning for season 2? It can help change lives and, you know, do what Lizzo's doing. I look up to her so much, and I just want to follow in her footsteps and not only be an amazing dancer, but be an amazing singer and storyteller. I love to write music. I love to sing, and I just want to share that with the Queen Lizzo herself. Yeah. Choose me to be part of the singing group. I know I'm already a dancer, but I can sing too, so yeah. I guess this is my audition.
Now, we are at the point of the video where I'll give my opinion on this entire situation and why I think this is mostly frivolous claims. But I first want to talk about Lizzo for a bit. Lizzo has built her entire brand on body acceptance. Personally, I almost always tend to side-eye any public figure who tells the world that they are this acceptance or that acceptance, because all it sounds like to me is someone that doesn't want to lead with their actions and tells people basically, I'm a good person, trying very hard to seem like a good person. And anyone who says, I'm a good person, no, you're not. Because good people don't have to say, I'm this or I'm that to prove anything by labeling themselves. That's why I really respected when Shawn Mendes did not immediately align himself as a feminist when he was asked if he was in 2019. If you really are inclusive, you don't have to say it. And this culture of everyone trying to hold everyone's foot to the fire for no reason is really childish and toxic in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the weight shaming claims, I'm very skeptical because as a dancer, any size, your whole career is your size and how you look for the production you were hired for. The dance industry is driven strictly on your outward appearance, not even if you are a good dancer sometimes. The point I'm trying to make is that as a dancer, if you get hired and you look a certain way or weigh a certain amount, you are expected to stay that way and only change when you are expected to. If it was a model who came forward saying I wasn't hired or I was let go because I gained weight, no one would care because as a model, you have to maintain your appearance. And it's the same for dancers. Now, I know, what about Lizzo? What if she gains weight? Well, Lizzo is the star of her show. And even so, if she gains more than what's expected, that might affect her in a negative way as well. Regarding the X claim, where it's alleged Lizzo invited dancers to touch nude performers, where Ariana says she was forced to touch a nude performer and it mortified her, and that she protested she didn't want to but did to keep her job. With this, I need more context because she said everyone was doing it, and there's a million different scenarios being played in my mind, like how were you acting? Because Lizzo is a big artist, and she must have known the repercussions of forcing her dancers to touch someone who was nude or doing X things. Davis is also the same person who said Lizzo would tiptoe around her when it comes to her weight. So it's interesting that Lizzo is aware of that. Like, I don't know, was alcohol included in the mix? I feel like Lizzo's team can spin the narrative in court easily, and that's if it actually goes to trial. Like, I keep watching these interviews with these young ladies. Almost all their claims is based on their perception only. Nothing concrete. It's all, there was a feeling that Lizzo would do this, or there was an energy in the room. I wish they just said what needs to be said or be more clear. I think, or in my opinion, their feelings got hurt and they're upset they got fired after they basically was a yes man to Lizzo. They did whatever Lizzo said without setting boundaries and played along for a particular reward and got fired instead. And instead of just going forward with it on social media, like a social media campaign about how bad of a boss Lizzo was, they went a million miles further with a lawsuit because just tweeting wouldn't be enough for their egos. It's like they take no accountability for anything that happened based on what they said in the press so far. And I'm sorry, but I have to side-eye grown-ass people acting like they don't have a mouth, or they can't say, I'm leaving, or I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. They are trying really hard to come off as innocent as possible, and I don't buy it. I know some of y'all are gonna say, you should always believe the victims. No, that's bullshit, and should be reserved for those who want to and not a universal thing. It's very easy to say you should always believe all victims when the situation has nothing to do with you, but I don't know these people and you don't either. In my opinion, they come off extremely entitled and very sensitive at the same time, and they are trying way too hard to win in the court of public opinion. Now, I know this video will piss some people off because I don't see anyone or most people approaching the situation logically, because at the end of the day, these are just claims. In the lawsuit, they are claiming damages, but they haven't listed an amount, so maybe they aren't ready, or do they want the judge to award them an amount? Do they want an apology from Lizzo, or do they want Lizzo to enroll in an anger management or pay a fine? I have no idea. Like, yeah, Lizzo gets a lot of hate, but she gets way more love than hate, so to see so many people switching up on her is really interesting to see. And at the end of the day, this doesn't really affect me, but I want to speak on it, and just that. I obviously have no power if this goes to trial, only a judge has that power. Anyway, tell me what you think about this Lizzo takedown situation in the comments. Do you think Lizzo is guilty? Do you believe these ladies that came forward, or the other person who they said are going to come forward as well? Or do you think they are clout chasers? Let's be real in the comments. I'm Don, your pop culture boy, and I will see you in the next one.